Good morning, everyone. This is Curtis Hawks with Insurance Agency Marketing Services, and I want to thank everybody for taking some time to be with us this morning. We've got a very important topic today. We're going into an election year, and there's a lot of different factors, and we'll talk about a little bit of that as we go through the presentation. But we're going to talk about a huge opportunity, I think, for advisors out there in the field to generate more sales and how we can make it simple and easy for consumers to understand the potential for tax increases and what they can do to mitigate that. Before getting into that, though, I want to take a couple of minutes here and talk about some of the additional ways that IAMS can add value to your business. First one of those is our new producer builders. You can see here that we've got a variety of point totals here. And when you get started with us in your first 6 months, you accrue points on your production and you can qualify at these tiers for any of these things, whether it's cash, marketing reimbursement, uh, marketing campaigns, an iPad, you name it. The other thing I would mention to you as well is customization is kind of a cornerstone of IAMS. And so if you're currently doing something that works well for you, then reach out, talk to a sales director. We can customize and move things around in here. You can reach us at 800-255-5055. In addition to that, if you know an agent who maybe isn't quite happy with their current IMO relationship, or maybe you feel like they might be a fit for us, send them our way. Not only will you get a $50 bonus when they get contracted, but on an ongoing basis, you can earn revenue based off of their production. You don't have to take care of any of the service. We'll do all of that. And candidly, these are some of the biggest checks that we cut. In addition to that, we've got our marketing reimbursement. You can see there that you can accrue $100 for every 100,000 of indexed annuity premium and $200 for every 100,000 of single premium life and $200 for every 10,000 of life target. And if you've got more questions on any of those programs, reach out, talk to a sales director over here. Again, that number's 800-255-5055. In addition to that, back office support. We were founded 38 years ago on having a very, very high service level, whether that is from the case design standpoint, the new business, the licensing standpoint, you name it. And so I would encourage you, if you haven't tested that out, to definitely try that. In addition to that, technology is a big theme for us. On the IAMS portal, not only will you be able to run quotes for annuities and life insurance and get rates, but you can do e-applications. In addition to that, we have our virtual sales resource library, and it has hundreds, literally hundreds of point of sale pieces that you can use with consumers, and you can instantly download any of those. And it's got just about every topic that you can imagine. You just need to be contracted with us to be able to access it. And if you've got questions on how to do that, you can reach out to us. Give us a call at 800-255-5055. As I mentioned, technology is a key theme. We do integrate with all of the most common e-app platforms, so Firelight, iPipeline, as well as Sunfire. What this allows you to do is be able to go to one spot, our portal, and whether you're writing annuities, life, long-term care, Medicare supplements, you name it, you can do an e-application right off of our website. And just to take a little bit deeper dive, Firelight is our base platform. It covers the majority of the annuity carriers out there. And then if you're writing life insurance, you can see we've got a few companies that integrate with them. The balance of those carriers will integrate with iPipeline. Creative marketing solutions. Creative really is the key word. It wasn't too far back in the distant past where having a website, having social media, having a virtual brand didn't carry that much weight. It helped, but wasn't necessarily a necessity. And I think there's been a significant amount of evolution in the consumer space when it comes to technology over the last few years, to where people research more now than they ever have before. And so I think it's put growing pressure on the advisory space to make sure that you have a robust digital brick and mortar. Because the challenge that you face is if you have a conversation with a consumer, or if somebody's going online to look you up and they either can't find you or it's limited what they can find, that person's not going to pick up the phone and call you to say, hey, I couldn't really find a whole lot of information on you. They're just not going to call. And so the team does an amazing job in that space. We just specifically work in the financial services space. And so if you're looking to make some improvements there, I would definitely reach out, talk to a sales director over here. The other thing I would mention to you as well is we do provide a complimentary custom marketing analysis for our advisors. And so if you're not quite sure what your marketing plan should be for the year, reach out, talk to a sales director over here. Again, that number is 800-255-5055. They will go through a needs analysis, go through what your business looks like currently, what your goals are for the year, how you're marketing, what you're open to, what you're not open to, and then our creative department can put together a customized marketing plan that you can implement for this year to accomplish your goals. In addition to that, we've got IAMS Wealth Management, and we founded this company a few years ago, and we've seen significant growth. And the reason we did that is we certainly see a continued growth trend line in that space. I think more and more advisors are looking to add AUM and do more comprehensive planning in their practices. And so I would encourage you, if you've got questions around that, or if that's an area of interest for you, give us a call, reach out, talk to a sales director. We'll get you connected with Duncan and Charles over there, and they can chat with you how they can help you do that. In addition to that, we've got our life and annuity academies coming up, and I'm going to go ahead and launch the first of a couple of polls that we have here. But we are going to be starting those up here in a couple of months, and they do fill up fast. But these are really an amazing opportunity if you're looking to spend some time focused on your business. When we're out in the field, we're spending time in our business. The Life and Annuity Academies are a great opportunity to spend some time on your business, looking at top marketing and prospecting solutions, annuity trends, life insurance trends, hear from top advisors talking about what's created success in their businesses. And so in addition to all of that, it gives you a great opportunity to network with your peers. So these do fill up. We typically do several of them throughout the course of the year. So I would encourage you, if you do have interest in that, definitely check yes there. And I'll get the shutdown here momentarily because we always have a line on those. So let me get this closed down here. We just wrapped up the qualification period for our Seaside Sanctuary trip. You can see we're going to be doing that in April. If you've got questions on where you ended up at qualification-wise, reach out, talk to a sales director, and then we'll also be announcing our next incentive trip here, probably in the not too distant future. And then lastly, follow and like us on Facebook and LinkedIn. We push out a ton of content on what's going on with rates, carriers, products, marketing, you name it. And so it's a great way to see information real time. So let me go ahead and get Tyler Keene up here. So with me today, I've got Tyler Randall with Stonewood Financial. As I mentioned, there's a whole lot of stuff going on. We just hit 34 trillion in debt. And so Stonewood, and Tyler's going to give us a deep dive on here, does a very effective job of talking about legislative risk, the potential for tax increases, and how do we take something complex like that and articulate it in a simple and straightforward manner for the consumer to digest. And so, Tyler, appreciate you taking some time with us today, and I will hand it over to you, my friend.
Hey, great. Thank you. Appreciate you having me, Curtis, and Happy New Year to everybody on the call. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I'm going to share with you what we've done at Stonewood is just try to make it really simple to be able to market some ideas that are timely, and we're going to cover off on some of that marketing and resources that you have access to. And then, hit a little bit on what if people say yes and want to come in and talk about it. How do we make that point of sale simple and effective? And then what resources you can access for support on that marketing and support on that point of sale that IAMS is kind of providing to you through this partnership with Stonewood. So with that, I'm going to hit three things. Our company just offers really three areas: software to help simplify the point of sale, marketing to help drive prospects and clients to having tax and legislative risk conversations, and then training on all of it. And so I want to hit the toolkits around our marketing first. And if you look at some of those titles, I can't help but think that especially that legislative risk toolkit, and kind of hard to see maybe on that screen, but protecting your retirement from Washington. How many people do you think are going to be interested in hearing more about that? And so in these toolkits are presentations built out that you can use, PowerPoints, social media content, one-pagers, white papers. That little white paper that's sitting up above the computer screen on the legislative risk is called Washington in Your Retirement, 4 Risks to Watch. What a great giveaway. If you want to put it on your social media, or you want to put it on your website, or you want to offer it in a workshop, people are going to be interested in finding out ways to make sure that they are protecting themselves now more than ever. That middle toolkit, the rising tax risk, that one we have been running with the last couple of years, has been very, very effective. Similar content there, seminar, webinar content, social media content, one-pagers and white papers. And if you want to focus predominantly on IUL, we can certainly do a ton of annuity business and a ton of IUL with the other two as a solution at the end. But if you want to focus your presentation on IUL, we certainly have that too. And so I'm going to hit a little bit more on the legislative risk toolkit and what's in there here in a minute. But one of the things that we've used really effectively to drive all of these conversations is taxes. And should you, where most people have saved all their money or the majority of their funds in a qualified deferred account, should we continue to let that money defer into a higher and higher tax environment? Let it defer into an environment where the rules, where Congress, we like to say, and we cover this pretty extensively in a lot of our training, is that Washington and Congress writes the rules in pencil. All of our tax rules and the way that our qualified accounts are spent down, in other words, taxed and passed on to our families, are written in pencil, and they can get together every couple of years and erase the current rules and put in new ones. And that's what we would consider legislative risk. We saw it with the Secure Act. So in the toolkit, that we really cover those topics, and we want to make people, educate people to understand that those things are available to them. And so in that protecting retirement from Washington, a lot is, should we move money from a taxed account or tax deferred account, pay the taxes and get it into a tax-free? And one of the easiest ways to market that conversation, and this is a marketing tool that you would also have access to through Stonewood, is a program we call Retirement Tax Bill. And what we do is we build out a custom landing page for you that allows you to be able to put this on your social media, put it on your website. You can run email campaigns. There's a ton of ways that you can use this. What it allows a client or prospect to do is, in about 30 seconds, they can calculate their tax bill in retirement and find out if there's significant tax savings. So for example, like this screen shows, could your tax bill be in retirement be too big? Find out in 30 seconds. If I put my name, my age, my dollar amount, my qualified account, and press a button, under a minute, if I was 60 with $500,000, I press a button, I can find out on my $500,000, I'm going to pay about $431,000 in taxes. If I make some adjustments, I could potentially reduce that down to $120,000. Now, as a prospect or a client, I'm seeing this and say, oh man, I got to talk to the advisor that sent this to me. And your calendar link can sit there where somebody can schedule a short call. This is a quick way to turn a prospect into a potential client, or a current client into potential new business having this tax conversation. But that's not really the real call to action. That's one way they're invited. The second way is we send them a report that gives them more details around where those taxes come from and what that adjustment to a tax-free would look like, and we invite them to do a short call. And so they receive this. There's not enough information for them to do anything with it, but there certainly is enough to create questions and interest in talking to you. And that's the whole purpose of this marketing tool. And that lead then would show up in your dashboard so you could follow up with. And so we use this to get client referrals. We use this to retarget old lists. We use it in a number of ways to start that conversation around tax savings. So there's a follow-up funnel. We have a whole playbook on how to use it. I'm going to share with you one guy that was using this out of his workshops down in Florida the last 3 months, and some of the production that he received from it was about 100 total leads, about 18 new clients. And you can see, I think everybody on this call, we said, okay, how can we drive 5 million more in annuity sales, 10 million in AUM, 107K in target this year? And is there a way to do that effectively and efficiently? This is one of those ways. And so that resource is available to you, and it's a great way to start these conversations. The other toolkit that I wanted to really call out here, and we talked about a little bit up front, is this legislative risk toolkit. And if you are wanting to do a seminar or webinar, don't try to, you can certainly recreate the wheel if you want, but if you want to access this, the PowerPoint is built, the speaker notes are there. We have sample videos of us presenting it. So you could literally download this today, get comfortable with it, and webinars are so easy to run. You could run a webinar on this topic, and the call to action could be that retirement tax bill. Hey, at a bare minimum, we need to know your total taxes in retirement. If you would like to market this, we have email campaigns. We have consumer-facing videos that are already available that you can just cut and paste the link and send it out there. And all of it is around this, what's happening in Washington, the legislative risk that it poses to your retirement, and the steps you can take to protect yourself. So all of that content's in the toolkit, and it's ready to go. There's a number of one-pagers like this that I think are great giveaways. Even if you just want to take this, like I mentioned, Washington and your client's retirement, 4 risks to watch, and put your company logo and info on it, and market it out as a giveaway. Great way to collect leads. So just know that toolkit's built out. We do offer 3 books that we've authored that have also been very effective. They're about 100-page books. That middle book is very much a holistic planning book. The other 2 books focus on IUL as a solution. So if you're more of an annuity producer and you want to do more annuity business, that new holistic retirement is great. Not to say you can't do IUL from it. It just doesn't really focus on product that way. The other 2 books that are right behind there focus really on IUL as a solution, either for conversion planning or contribution planning. And so if you're, depending on what you're looking to do, those books are available hard copy and ebook form. And there's these 3 PowerPoints, in case you missed it, in those toolkits are available for you to download and use with speaker notes. And the call to action that we've found very effective, whether it's a webinar or seminar, is to be able to say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Prospect, if you schedule a meeting with me, I will do a complimentary tax and income analysis for you. And I'll give you a copy of the book that the experts wrote on this topic to educate yourself on how to protect your retirement from Washington. So those giveaways, that slide, even if you have your own content that you want to utilize, if you want to steal that slide and that close, it'll help you gain an extra appointment or 2 out of your seminar or webinars this year. We just find that that's a best practice that works. So there's a lot of marketing that's available. When somebody does say yes, I want to find out how to protect my retirement from Washington. I need to know about this rising tax risk and legislative risk. You're just using that content. When people come in, then it's really a software analysis. And I'm going to go through this kind of quickly. I think it's most beneficial if you have interest in this to schedule some time, either with your IAMS marketer or just schedule some time with myself or somebody on our team, and we can walk you through a case. That's usually the best place to really where the rubber meets the road on any of this. But I just want to show you the software quickly, and we have really 3 softwares. One that's designed for people making IUL contributions and why they should consider an IUL rather than a 401k or 403b qualified plan, especially if there's no match, why they should consider it. And then secondly, for those that are doing conversion planning, converting qualified assets to IUL. And our 3rd software that we use is our annuity software. So if you have somebody that just wants to protect themselves from the market or wants to provide lifetime income, or all the great things that annuity provides, we have some software that helps in that capacity as well. So I'm going to hit these real quick. This is a client age 50 making a contribution to pre-tax to their qualified account. And in our software, we would put some tax and growth assumptions and fee assumptions around how that client is currently saving. And what we can show to them is a really simple tax analysis and a really simple income analysis that's so simple that people say, okay, I get it. how do we restructure the way I'm saving? And I'll show you what that tax analysis looks like right now. It's a one-page report that says the taxes you get to defer through your qualified account here, given the situation that we put in, the numbers are out on the right, you'll defer about 29 grand, but you're on track to pay about $81,000 in taxes. Mr. and Mrs. Client or prospect, if I could help you avoid that 81,000 in taxes altogether, would you be interested in a new way to save? And we make a very big deal about being in a, we talk about taxes and legislative risk in our training. We make a big deal about being in an account, like an IRA or 401k account or 403 account, and being in a contract. Now, an account, an IRA, individual retirement account, or 401k, 403b, all those accounts are subject to what? Congressional and legislative risk. Congress can get together and change the rules on those, how they're taxed, how they're distributed to the family at any time. If I move my money and start saving in a contract, a private contract with an insurance company, an IUL, not only can I help you save the $81,000, but what have I done? I've taken the tax and legislative risk off of the table, because contracts are very difficult to change the rules. They hardly ever do. And so for Congress to step in and say, I'm going to change Joe Blow's private contract with ABC Insurance Company, that's really, really tough for people to swallow, and that rarely happens. And so we talk about being in a contract versus an account, and why that can take off the tax and legislative risk. And quite simply here, I'm able to say, hey, if I can help you avoid 81 grand in taxes, would you be open to a new way of saving? And the answer oftentimes is yes. So that is available to you to be able to create for any of your contribution or savings clients, and talk about saving in an account versus a contract and receiving the tax savings that goes with it. The other part of it is to do a simple income analysis. We know there's tax savings here. What if we want to compare the income from this 401k? And we just compute through our software a really simple systematic withdrawal analysis that says, hey, if you keep this 401k, keep contributing, here's the amount you're going to save, and here's your net income if you took the largest systematic withdrawal from it that you could take. And what you might get is some pushback that says, okay, I get it. Well, what about saving in a tax-free Roth versus an IUL? Well, we can run that, and there is a slight uptick in benefit without the taxes, saving in a Roth. And you can run that report in the comparison. And of course, it all is subject to the return assumptions and the tax assumptions and what you're saving. But we try to do is apples to apples here. And there is an uptick in income for this gentleman to start saving after tax money in the Roth rather than pre-tax money in the 401k. And the last comparison is to run an IUL. And you can run whatever carrier you want. It's up to you. We just take the numbers and plug it into our software, and you get a one-page report like this that says, look, the IUL is a contract. We talked about that and how it takes off your legislative risk, but also look what it does. We showed it that you're going to be able to save about 80 grand in total taxes in retirement, but it takes your income from 6,000 in your current approach to 10,000, and it takes your total benefit to your family from 233 to 412. If you see the numbers out on the right. And so we just try to keep that super simple, and we just lay those out. I don't care which way you go. Keep doing what you're doing, Mr. Client or prospect, or allocate to a Roth or allocate to an IUL. Up to you. Which way do you want to go? And here's the data. And the great thing about having a tax and income conversation, how much product have we really talked about? We've talked about eliminating legislative risk by going from an account to a contract. We've shown the tax savings, and we've shown the income creation. We haven't even talked about the living benefits and the death benefits really, or the indexing, power indexing. There's a lot of great things. And that's what keeping it simple does. And that's why using this and contribute, I think IAMS brings this to the table for you to use, because if we keep it simple sells. And we've got an opportunity with what's going to go on in this next election cycle to really have people tuned into protecting their retirement from Washington. And you've got marketing resources and software that can help you do that. So that's your saver analysis on marketing and software. When you get to a client who saved money in a 401k or 403b, they're in their 60s, and we want to share with them, should we convert that $500,000, or maybe this guy's got $1.5 million, we want to convert a third of it. We use our tax burden analysis software. And that's very similar to the marketing tool that we built. In fact, the marketing tool was built because this next report I'm going to show you is the #1 report we use at Stonewood, which is to say, if you keep your $500,000, Mr. Client, you're going to be on track through RMDs and at death. And if you reinvest your RMDs, all those taxes could potentially be around 430 grand. If we reallocate over a period of time, whatever's appropriate, to a tax-free, we could potentially minimize those taxes down to 125,000 bucks. It's a very simple report. The total report's about 7 pages, but this is the page that gets people's attention. And this is the page that gets people start to really consider a Roth conversion, where we're doing more annuity business, or a conversion to an IUL, if you wish. And so that is something that can start a conversation that can lead to a number of new outcomes that is very beneficial to the client, but also will drive a lot of new revenue for your business. So that report is available, and it's something that's been very effective. We do the same income analysis. I'm going to hit this super quick just because it's the same thing we just did with the saver. We say, look, here's your outcome from a net income basis. If you take the largest withdrawal you can, starting at age 70, this guy was 60, starting at 70. If we convert to a Roth, here's your income that you could get via systematic withdrawal. If we convert this $500,000, pay the 100 grand in taxes and get it into an IUL, here's your income and here's the total benefit. And yes, that total benefit does include the death benefit. So again, just trying to keep it really simple. Here's your current approach. Here's what a Roth approach would look like from a tax and income standpoint. And here's what an IUL looks like in the 3 reports that go with it. So hopefully you can see that some of those things just keep it super simple. I think we overcomplicate things a lot of times in this business. If we can keep it simple, simple sells. And if we can say, really differentiate our business by saying, let me help you take the tax and some of the legislative risk out of a portion of your portfolio, Mr. Saver or Mr. Retiree doing conversion, we can show them exactly how they get there and in a way that's simple that they understand, and that'll drive more annuity and life business for you. When it does come to annuity, we've got a software called Annuity Alpha, and what it does is it simply takes your income annuity that you would run for this person 65 as 100,000, and it just shows them how much performance or alpha that the annuity actually provides to the portfolio, which is a little bit different way of thinking. Most people think it's like a bond alternative, which is great, certainly can be, but it actually provides a lot of performance to the portfolio. I'm going to show you how. And so for this client, it's 100,000 bucks. She's 65. She's going to turn the income on at age 70. And so what you would do is take the current brokerage account that she's in and put the return assumptions that you see fit. This is an example. You can run whatever numbers and whatever fee structure you want, and then run your annuity, the annuity that you want to propose to this client, and run the income that it creates at age 70. And in this case, it's 11,265. And so we show, again, we just keep it very simple at Stonewood. We show the benefit of the annuity, which is a lifetime income of at least 11,265 guaranteed for life. And then we're going to show the client 2 things. One, if you want to match the income via systematic withdrawal from your brokerage account, that 11,265, you can do it. If you want to match that income, that's your desired result, you can do it, but you're going to be out of money at age 83. Okay, the distribution is too high to be sustainable, and we can show it very simply. And then the client say, well, what if I just want the income to last a lifetime? I want it to last as long as I do, till age 95 or whatever number you pick. We pick 95 for this example. You can make the money last, but your distribution has to be 7,873. That's a $4,000 haircut from the annuity. So the client or prospect might say, well, okay, well, what if I want both? I want to make sure my income lasts, but I want to have more income, the income that the annuity provides. Well, if you want to do both, option 3, achieve your desired income and the longevity, the return you're going to need to generate guaranteed from your brokerage account is 8.62%. Now you might say, okay, well, that's a lot, number one, but you may say, okay, kind of obtainable, maybe. The part of this in the small print here that we then point out and circle is that this is not a 100% equity portfolio. It's a 50-50 portfolio. And if you want to get that 8.62, that means your equity side has to deliver 13% a year. How many of you on this call feel comfortable guaranteeing 13% a year? I mean, I know Bernie Madoff could do it, right? But that's not a realistic number for anybody when you start seeing double-digit guarantees. And so now we're able to show in a very simple way, 2-page report, how much alpha in return that annuity is really providing. If I was to try to match it with a brokerage account, couldn't do it. It would be a lot of stress, and I'd probably have to increase the equity and take a ton more risk. Why not deliver something guaranteed, decrease risk, and actually, in the big picture, would give your client a lot more return. So that annuity alpha is also available. I think it's a great way not only to be able to defend your recommendation around an annuity, but also to protect your business. You throw it in the file, so if anybody comes back and says, why do I own this annuity? You can say, well, because we're able to take a lot less risk and drive a lot more return. So last thing I want to mention to you before we close this down, I know we're bumping up on about 30 minutes here, is our training. So we do an Innovate in-person training. It's part of your Stonewood membership. If you're interested in attending that, we're doing it at the end of February 29th. February 29th to March 1st. It's 2 days of best practices. We go deep dive on legislative risk and tax risk. So if you like those concepts and ideas and you're like, man, I really need to become an expert in that, that's what this is designed to do. We take and look at how to present those reports effectively, how to overcome objections. All of the things that we offer, we cover those resources and best practices. You'll hear from different advisors that have had success, like the one that I shared with you, and how they're doing it, how they're marketing and using our tax and legislative risk toolkits, the rising tax risk toolkits. People come out of it all the time raving about it as one of the best trainings they've received in the industry, and it really helps you use these resources effectively. So that's coming up February 29th. If you're interested in attending, let us know, and let IAMS know, and we can get you registered, or it is part of your membership. Beyond that, we do regular study groups. Our CEO used to be a part of the Bush administration and spent a number of years in Washington. She's the one that updates us on things that happen. If there's a new spending bill, she gets in, takes a deep dive, creates a white paper for our advisors, and does a quarterly State of the Union call where we say, this is what's happening. These are the tax and legislative risk topics, bullet points you need to know about and be sharp on. And here's the resources you can use to market with to have those conversations. And that's where that legislative risk toolkit came from. So those State of the Union calls are there. And we also do a one-on-one onboarding. So as you come on as a new member of Stonewood, you can do that. And we'll onboard you and your team, show you how to customize the marketing, how to get a quick start. There's a ton of on-demand learning if you've got downline or other people, or you just yourself want to go through online training, you certainly can. And there's a few different options to access Stonewood. You've got a IUL membership focused mainly on IUL. It's $299 to set it up and $199 a month, or our annuity membership, $199 a month as well, $299 setup fee, or our bundled premium choice, which combines both. And so there's different marketing and different software associated with each, depending on where you find your business, but pretty reasonable setup fee, and you get access to all the marketing and training that I mentioned through that pretty reasonable $199 or $299 figure on a monthly basis, no contracts. And if you want to save some money through IAMS, you get a discount to buy it annually if you wish, save you a few $100. So that's really what I wanted to cover off on. I hope that you can kind of see that tax and legislative risk messaging is something that I think is going to be super relevant here as we go forward this year, and something that you can certainly tap in and utilize the resources we have to get more clients interested in having that conversation to drive life and annuity business, or bring on more prospects that you can show them how you're differentiating your practice by de-risking the tax and legislative risk from their portfolio using some of those Stonewood resources that are ready to go for you. So that's all I have, Curtis. I appreciate everybody for joining us, and I'll turn it back over to you.
Well, I appreciate that, Tyler, and I appreciate you taking a deep dive. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll launch our final poll here real quick. Um, and so if you're interested in getting access to Stonewood, definitely check the box here. But I think there's kind of a firestorm going on right now. I mean, I think the marketing resources that you guys provide in the software, this is a perfect time. I mean, we just hit an all-time high in the debt. We've got we've got an election year, and then we've got the TCJA that's supposed to sunset at the end of next. So it's like this trifecta of things that are going on that are going to push what's going to happen with taxes. Really, I think that's going to be a big topic of discussion along the campaign trail.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you guys watch this stuff inside and out, but I really think there's a great opportunity that can really drive a lot of sales, and being able to um, quantify that again in a digestible, simple, straightforward way is I think really creates competitive advantage for the advisors that are using Stonewood. So I really appreciate all the work that you guys put into everything to continuously innovate with the platform.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I agree with you. I just think that this is a perfect storm in a lot of ways where all anybody's going to see is election crap. I'm gonna call it because I'm tired of seeing it already. And they're going to be worried about what's going on, and they're worried about taxes and inflation and all these things. And we've got tools and resources to really help a lot of people right now. And I think this could be a pretty epic moment for us as advisors and financial planners and agents to really help a lot of people de-risk their portfolio and get money in an account where taxes aren't going to be a risk as they look forward in the future. And that's pretty important.
Yep. No, you're absolutely right. So, well, appreciate the time, Tyler. For all of you agents on here, appreciate you taking some time on here, and we will definitely be circling up with you. And I hope everybody has a good sales day. Thanks.